What is going on, everybody? John Devin here with Andrew Cooper. Welcome into the Thursday night fantasy football week 13 preview. Coop, we got Seattle versus Dallas here tonight. How are we doing, good sir?
Doing great, man. Although this is one of those Thursdays where there are still so many injuries and moving parts. That's what happens when there's no bye weeks, right? Everybody goes out and gets nicked up, and now we've got some tough decisions to make, especially tonight. So, folks out there, if you have your Charbonnet questions, you got your Jake Ferguson questions, get them in now, and make sure to include the context of, we've got Chris Olave banged up, McBride, Schultz, just across the board. Big mess, Marquise Brown. So get that info in there and make sure you get the full scope of your questions in there. All right. Let us know PPR, half PPR, standard. Let us know, if it's a must-win game or not for you. Let us know full names, please, if possible, on players like Bijan Robinson or Brian Robinson. Anybody named Williams, anybody named Smith, get that in there. But you guys know the drill. We'll be hitting all the questions, so let up the chat, John.
Yeah, 100%. We just got the official inactives out there as well, as we expected. There, no Kenneth Walker here tonight, so it is Zach Charbonnet. Full go, but is it a great matchup for Zach Charbonnet? If they throw to him, maybe. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be able to run the ball with much success against the Dallas Cowboys defense here, but we'll certainly talk about all of that here today. We'll talk about this matchup, talk about your start sits. We'll do a little DFS lineup for the showdown slate. Maybe we'll sprinkle some prop picks in for everybody here as well. Try to let everybody make a little bit of money. And don't forget, it is Thursday night, which means it is the Bender Cast here today as well. If you haven't already downloaded the totally free, 100% free Better Cast app, Howard Bender and Jim Bowden, the GM, are going to be live on the Better Cast app right now, going through the pregame questions, going to do a little pregame question show. And then at halftime, Coop, you know who's joining Howard Bender at halftime tonight?
I looked ahead in the app. It's the King, right?
The King, Scotty Engel, Mr. Seattle Seahawks fan himself.
Love that, dude.
If you're looking for some fantasy football, fantasy sport legends, you got to download the BetterCast app here tonight. Get those pregame questions answered. Have yourself an opportunity to watch, play, and win some cool prizes here tonight. Hang out with Bender, hang out with Scott Engel, hang out with Jim Bowden. Get ready for tonight's Cowboys Seahawks Week 13 matchup.
Yeah, a lot of award-winning radio personalities on one show, right, dude? Scotty Engel's one, of course, the Fantasy Alarm show. So that's going to be a fun one. I'll definitely be popping in. I'm sure everybody will be giving Jim a hard time, like you're supposed to. Like you're supposed to with all Cowboys.
Cowboys game, you got to give Jim a little hard time with all the Cowboys fans. But hey, he's had a lot to brag about this season. So, he's stands tall, deserves to stand tall. But download, scan that QR code, or click the link in the description of tonight's show here to download that free Better Cast app tonight. All right, let's get to the questions here. They're rolling into the chat. If you have them, throw them in. We'll go one by one, answer all these for all of you here this evening. First question out there. Full point PPR, need 1 to 3, Olave, Charbonnet, or McBride.
There you go. Right off the bat, he's got Olave, who has a concussion. We don't know if he's going to play. Charbonnet, who plays tonight, so you have to make a decision now. And McBride, who's banged up as well. So I don't know, John. I think, honestly, if you have Olave and McBride, I might avoid Charbonnet tonight going up against this team and just hope one of those two guys plays. McBride was a limited participant in practice today, so that's a good news for him. It's trending up. So I think I might just hang tight, John. What do you think?
I think that's where I would lean there as well. It's hard to know. Trusting the other ones there. So you're going the running back, right, Coop?
No, I'm saying that I might hold and wait on Olave and McBride.
I don't want to hold because then we might get 2 zeros.
Yeah, Lucas, let us know who your other option is. I guess I would start Charbonnet. Like Charbonnet right now is in the same spot as like a Rashad White has been all year, where it's like in good matchups, great, he plays the whole game. He's the only show in town. In bad matchups, though, it's like what's the ceiling? So Charbonnet's a really tough one.
Yeah, I will say he does at least benefit from catching the football, unlike Kenneth Walker, who had like 0 pass catching upside when he was out on the field. So there is at least a little bit of potential value there, but it is a tough spot to be put in for sure. Nicole here, other question was Pierce or Boyd, he said. Sorry, Lucas here. So Pierce or Boyd would be his other options.
Yeah, just start Charbonnet, Lucas.
Yeah, start Charbonnet. Nicole here wants to know current lineups: Connor and Najee at the running back, Ayuk Dell at wide receiver, Ridley Chase in the flex. Would you leave Charbonnet, Dillon, and Brandon Cooks on the bench for that group there?
I'm definitely starting Najee Harris against the Cardinals. I don't care if it's a split. I'll start both Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. Also, I don't mind starting Carner against the Steelers. It's the one thing you can do on him. You can't bench Ayukandale, so that's all set. And then
Nope.
Ridley is definitely in. So it's a question of Chase, Charbonnet, or Cooks. I think I just go with Jamar Chase, man, and just
Yeah.
hope Allen wins out.
I agree with you there 100% for sure. Andrea saying, hi, everybody.
What up?
Recon wants to know, I don't know if Reed or Jones will play this week. Do I start Brandon Cooks as a flex 12-man standard? He says he's got Field, Stafford, Jones, Mixon, Swift. Jettis, assuming that's Justin Jefferson, I would imagine.
Yeah,
But
it
he's
is.
on high, right? So
Jettis, that's his Twitter handle. So people
okay.
call him that. Yeah.
Waddle, I'm on Ross St. Brown and Joku.
I'm just starting Brandon Cooks, man. I like Brandon Cooks tonight. Michael Gallup, his role has truly diminished over the past few weeks. He's gone from being like a full-time guy to splitting with Jalen Tolbert and at times playing less than Jalen Tolbert. So it's really Lamb and Cooks at the top. And CeeDee Lamb could get a lot of Devin Witherspoon tonight. That's what Howard Bender is predicting. So I actually do like Brandon Cooks, especially with the other guys nicked up. I don't want to wait and see if I can avoid it.
Agreed. Andrew wants to know, need one. Ferguson, Everett, Otten, Logan Thomas. PPR. He's worried about Schultz not playing. She is, rather.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start Ferg. I have Ferg ranked ahead of those guys regardless. Gerald Everett is not as good of a – people have been all over Everett, asking me about Everett. This is a guy that going back, he's played 26 games for the Chargers, and not one time has he played more than 80% of the snaps. Not last year with all the injuries to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, not this year with all the injuries. And in those 26 games, only 3 times has he played more than 70%. He's a part-time player. He's going to be covered by Kyle Duggar. Only 2 teams this year have let up less than 400 yards against the tight ends. It's the Browns and the Patriots. Patriots have only let up 1 touchdown to tight ends. It's not a good matchup for tight ends. So no Gerald Everett, not now, not ever. Ferguson's the guy I like ahead of the other 2, though it's pretty close. Okay. So I would just go that way.
No Jamal Adams worry for you here?
But they all have worries. Logan Thomas only ran 65% of the routes last week. Cade Otton has a huge route participation for the most part, but sometimes he blocks on pass plays, and he doesn't have a particularly good matchup. His Panthers, right? Panthers are like the 7th best team versus the tight end quietly. It's like the one thing that team is good at.
Okay. Sean here wants to know, needs to pick up a tight end for this week. Chikakonkwo, Tyler Conklin, Cade Otton, Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee.
That's where I go Cade Otton. That's where we look at it and say, last 6 weeks, he leads all tight ends in route participation, 88%. Chig, in some of these games, he's only running half the routes. Josh Wiley's running them. Conklin, I'm never trusting Conklin. Hunter Henry, unfortunately, is not. He's got a good matchup this week, but he's just not a full-time player either. And Tyler Higbee has the worst possible matchup a tight end could have with Cleveland Browns. So it's Cade Otton.
Good. Sean also follow up JSN or Drake London. London's got the Jets. He's worried about, I imagine, Sauce Gardner this year.
I'm terrified about that matchup. I think I'll go JSN. Pete Carroll, again, we have to preface this, John, with you can't believe a word this guy says, but he did say we want to get this guy the ball more, didn't he? So
he did.
I don't know. Drake London.
The target share has been decent for JSN recently anyway, so I don't mind going JSN here.
Yeah, they're going to be playing from behind most likely. Obviously, the spreads.
Yeah, 9.5-point underdog. So
is that where it's at now? I feel like it's been fluctuating all over the place.
Yeah, 9.5 was the last I looked at.
Yeah, and Drake London, because they use the tight ends and stuff, and they don't really have a way to get him into the slot. I don't think he plays slot like at all. Like maybe a couple games he had double digit. I remember that early on in the season, first 5 weeks, he never had a double digit game. So
where were all those Jets fans chirping you when Jalen Waddle went 8 for 8 for 150 yards last week, right?
And Tyreek Hill too. It's like they don't care. Dude.
Yeah, they were just upset about your Keenan Allen take.
They'll move on to the next thing.
12-team half PBR for Hank Coggadier, Romeo Dubs, Jonathan Mingo, Curtis Samuel.
I like Dubs, man. It could be sold on. It's half PPR, which is tough for Curtis Samuel. What do you think, John?
I would go Dubs here as well.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
He's been fun.
Traded DJ Moore, Kamara, and Puka for ASRB, Swift, and Brandon Cooks. Traded Nico and Pitts for Waddle and Njoku as well. How do you like the moves I made?
Jeez,
it's a lot of moves.
Brand new team, yeah. I was gonna say
brand new team, and then you drafted. Yeah, I mean, listen, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Traded Nico and Pitts for Waddle. That's fine. I
think that's fine. Yeah. I think you did good on both trades.
And then Njoku's greater than Pitts. Yeah, I think you did fine on those trades. AA half PPR. Do I start Cooks tonight or do I drop them to add Khalil Herbert, Dortch, Dubs, or Elijah Moore?
Dude, so we got a beat writer for the Chicago Sun-Times, the Chicago Sun-Times asked Matt Eberflus about how they decide who gets playing time, and it's the worst possible answer for fantasy football, John. He said that we decide based on how guys do in practice during the week. So Roschon Johnson played 74% of the snaps. Khalil Herbert played 21%. And he said Herbert is healthy. He's fine, but Roschon had a better week of practice, which for me in fantasy football land is a nightmare. Is a nightmare. So I'm really scared of Khalil Herbert. 21% of the snaps for Herbert last week, and the coach said no, he's healthy. I think I would start Cooks tonight, even though I don't mind Dortch or Dubs or more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cooks here tonight for sure. Paul says, "Good evening. 3 out of the 4 full PPR: Dotson, Monty, Lockett, or Moss. Thoughts here on this spot?" Ben and I did the NFL DFS show earlier on today. We talked about Moss and the Titans' great run defense, but then you go look at what Moss did against Tennessee, and that was a Week 5 matchup. It was like 130 and 2 scores.
Yeah.
So Zach Moss did not care about Tennessee's good run defense. He ran all over them. Yeah, Lockett here against the Cowboys. Montgomery in a split share there with Jahmyr Gibbs going up against the Saints, I think it is. And then Dotson's got the Dolphins.
Yeah, man. I think – why do I want to bench Jahan Dotson?
I don't know. They're going to throw 48 times in that game. So,
dude, here's his last few games. He has 2 games this year with 0 points.
I know.
I think I would.
Recent games have been better, though. Target share has been better.
5 receptions for 52, 3 for 23, and 0 for 0 were his last 3 games. I'm benching Dotson.
All right, benching Dotson is. We got Twitch Gang in the chat.
Oh, Twitch Gang, baby, let's go. Get the Twitch glasses out for the Twitch
Riggs wants to know, Deontay Johnson, Metcalf, or Rashee Rice?
Oh, boy. Full PPR, too, which keeps Deontay Johnson in the mix here. Do we bench Rashee Rice? Do we dare? I don't think we do.
I don't know. I think I bench Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I bench Deontay Johnson.
He needs 2, though. He needs 1, right? Wide receiver 2.
If it's 2 wide receivers, just bench Deontay Johnson. If you're just starting 1, I'm just going to start Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I'll take Rashee Rice.
Good, man.
1 wide receiver right there outside of Kelsey. And
Deontay Johnson, that dude can't.
He only had 5 for 50 last week or something like that.
The drops are so bad with that guy, man.
Yeah.
He dropped a touchdown last week.
I know it's Arizona, and that's the appeal here, but I feel like they could just run the ball with Warren and Najee all day. So
the Cardinals have been a choose your own adventure all year. Yeah. You can beat them however you feel like it, right? Like CMC had 3 touchdowns, Jamar Chase had 3 touchdowns. Somebody's gonna have a good game.
Agreed. Recon wants to know, do I start the Colts defense or the Cowboys defense? You and I both like the Cowboys defense here. As you mentioned on the Alarm Fantasy Football Show today, the sack prop for Geno is at 3.5. 3.5, yeah. Which means Vegas thinks it could also go over the 3.5 sacks here tonight. I like the over half an interception for a prop here tonight. So I'm in on the Cowboys defense at home.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I look at it. 3, I would be very happy with 3 sacks, and that would actually be the under. Right. So, yeah, we'll take that all day long.
Agreed. And then Stafford's the backup. I'm wondering if I should pick up Minshew for the week. Would you pick up Minshew over Stafford?
I have Minshew ranked ahead, John. How do you have it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for this week, I have Minshew ahead of Stafford for sure.
Just for this. Just because of the Browns.
Yeah, but I think long-term Stafford's better than Minshew. So I'd rather, if you're not starting one.
It's your backup?
Keep Stafford on your team. Right?
If you're not starting Minshew this week, I'd rather have Stafford.
Correct. Need one for Sean Kyron or Jalen Warren or Charbonnet.
Damn, that's tough. Definitely not Charbonnet. So this is the question now is this, John. Kyron Williams, awesome.
Cleveland.
Full roll against Cleveland. Not great. Jalen Warren, half a roll against the Cardinals.
Right. So I don't mind Kyron because they do throw him the football.
Yeah.
So I may lean Kyron Williams here.
I'm going Kyron, dude. He's too good.
Yep.
It's too good.
How do you feel about Jones and Mixon? Which Jones?
I could try trading both of them away, but who is a reasonable ask for them? It's probably Aaron Jones. I'm just hanging on to Mixon just because he gets the full workload. I know the Browning situation is less than ideal, but I just don't. You're not going to get full value.
Yeah. Plus, given the depth, the state of the running back position, I don't know what if you get rid of them, what's your running back depth look like then, right?
That's what I'm saying. If you're loaded at, he has his team above. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the one that made all those deals. So
yeah. I think I would just hang with what you got, man.
Yep. A says, thanks for answering. Of course, it's what we're here for. Sean says, final question. Doesn't have to be your final question, Sean. You can throw as many questions
We're hanging, bro. We're talking ball. That's the thing is that this is what we do on this show. We answer as many questions as you guys want to answer. And then when we're done with that, we'll make a DFS lineup, if there's time. And if, we get done with that, then we'll just start throwing prop bets in and talking about the game. You know what I mean? So we're here to do whatever you guys want. If you guys want to talk about anything, throw any questions in there, dude. Ask John about the secrets of melting butter and putting stuff in it and creating your own like garlic butter and stuff. Like these are the questions.
I am one that likes to create my own butter mixtures, so we could certainly talk about that. If you want to know a good flashlight to buy, you can ask Coop. He'll tell you exactly what kind of flashlight to buy.
Sofirn, SOFIRN. That's a hot brand right now, John.
Yeah, we're men of many talents here, not just fantasy sports.
Anything you want.
If you want, I can turn this into an NBA DFS show and talk about the NBA all day too.
I don't think we're far enough into the show to start changing the algorithm.
All right.
We want to stick with football for now.
All right, sorry. Football. I think the algorithm's back. Sutton or Thielen full PPR?
Full PPR. So with Thielen, the concern is that Thielen, if you didn't want change if you have Adam Thielen, because the current regime or the regime that just got fired they love Thielen. So you didn't want these guys getting fired. I think I'm just going to stick with Sutton because he's been the de facto end zone target.
Highest game total on the board too.
Right. He scored virtually every week. And then last week he had that one in the corner in the end zone. He just barely couldn't get it. Almost kept the touchdown streak going. He gets an end zone, not red zone, end zone target every week. So I'm going Sutton.
Yeah, I'm fine going that as well. Again, I think for DFS purposes this week, very interesting stack you can get there with the Russell Wilson side of that game. I know Stroud's the one putting up the points, and Wilson not so much in terms of fantasy production on a week-to-week basis, but if there was a time to get that going, I think it could be here this week. James wants to know Lockett or London tonight or today.
Lockett. Yeah, Lockett tonight. London versus Jets. I have no interest in that. And I don't understand the lines for Desmond Ridder that said 180 passing yards. I don't know where those yards are coming from. I'm betting the under.
Nope. Wants to know Sharbs or wait on A-Chain or Dillon.
I would start Sharbs over Dillon outright. So, man, waiting on A-Chan.
A-Chan didn't even have the full role when he came back.
I would really hate to start A.J. Dillon.
No, I think you're playing Charbonnet.
Just start Sharbs tonight, yeah.
Yeah, again, A-Chan didn't have even the full role last time. I was coming back from yet another injury. They could even take it.
Yeah. Make sure you put Sharbs in one of the RB1 or RB2 spots just in case, see what happens at the flex, maybe A-Chan does find his way into your flex. You never know what happens during the week. We've seen guys show up, knock on wood, show up on the injury report on Friday.
Bryce wants to know Dak or Mahomes.
I mean, I've seen Nate Burleson break his arm trying to save a pizza in a car crash. So, be very, you never know what's going to happen. Dak or Mahomes, that's
what was that question? What was that reply to?
Well, I'm saying that, you never know.
I was like,
I'm saying that you never know. I'm saying that you never know what's going to happen. That's why you always put guys in the lineup if they're playing.
You're talking about putting them in the RB spot. I was like, Dak or Mahomes, you're throwing a
Dak or Mahomes. Yeah, Nate Burleson broke his arm protecting a pizza one time. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely train of thought on that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So this is you, John. You're the QB whisperer because I actually want to. Just to get the record straight here, I want to throw a third name in there. Can you rank these three guys for me?
Sure.
Dak, Tua, Mahomes.
Sure. I'm going to go Tua, Dak, and Mahomes as my ranking. So I'm going to go Dak over Mahomes here tonight.
Yeah. Mahomes oddly hasn't. I learned this tonight playing the trivia game that he oddly hasn't thrown for 3,000 yards this year. Sam Howell has.
Yeah, not yet. He's at 29-17. And they're on the road in Green Bay. I mean, again, the pass catchers are questionable, and you can really run on the Green Bay Packers here. So, even if he does throw a couple touchdowns, I don't know. I feel like Dak's going to have the bigger day. And if you had to rank Tua in there, Tua would be my number one in that group. Cover of the quarterback coach this week, Tua Tagovailoa. Charbonnet or Cortland Sutton in PPR for our guy Lex.
I'm going Sutton. He's been too good.
I'm good to get that there. Mixon and Njoku Fields for Josh Allen. Was it worth it?
If
what's your quarterback?
Yeah, I guess it depends. If those guys if Njoku's on
his quarterback, he has Stafford as his backup.
If Mixon's on your bench right now, then yes. If Mixon was in your lineup, then I think that was a bad trade.
Yeah. Lockett, Hollywood, or Higgins here?
Hollywood's banged up. And Higgins is playing with Jake Browning,
Yeah.
and he's banged up as well. So I'm
just gonna go Lockett. I think they're gonna throw a lot. I don't know how many they'll complete, but Lockett's been pretty good.
He's been fine. By the end of the season, I'm sure Lockett will find a way into being a wide receiver too, like he always does.
Do I like Parmesan fries? Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Truffle fries, Parmesan fries, any French fries.
If you had to pick truffle or Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Me too. Agreed.
Can it be garlic Parmesan? Garlic
Parmesan wings, dude. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up. Ricky, what's up, man? Happy to have you back in the chat with us.
What up, Ricky?
Pickett versus Arizona, Browning versus Jacksonville, Levis for Indy. I think we gotta ride Pickett here.
Right. Change the OC through for like 278 yards, right?
My worry is he had no touchdowns. I wrote this up in the quarterback coach this week. Love that he completed 72% of his passes. Love that he threw for 272 yards. But he had 0 touchdown passes. And this is a guy that only has 1 multi-touchdown pass game this season. I hope that they'll let him throw, but they could also just run. But compared to Browning versus Jacksonville or Levis versus Indy, I'm in on Pickett here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's Pickett.
Yeah, ghost in the background, Coop.
No, dude, I just noticed that my
your flag's hanging upside down.
My flag fell. I have to go change that right now. So it's gonna drive me insane. So
I was gonna say I can tell you
answer questions. I'll be back.
All right, go ahead. All right. Well, Coop is in his OCD fixes the flag that's in the background of his door. I got you guys here. Andrew wants to know: need 2 Mostert, Pacheco, Bijan, and Ramondre. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson getting back-to-back games of 20-plus carries is super encouraging here. You have Mostert against the Commanders. You have Pacheco against the Packers. Bijan coming back after back-to-back great weeks out of him. I think I'm locking in Ramondre Stevenson here, given the workload that he's gotten. And then from there, I mean, I do like Pacheco a lot against Green Bay, but what are your thoughts on the recent resurgence from Bijan, Coop, and Mostert here against the Commanders?
I mean, you picked it right in the first one with Stevenson. Talk about resurgence. He hadn't had a game with 100 yards from scrimmage all season. Last 3 games, 100 yards in all 3 of them. So Mondre's back, man, and you can run all over the Chargers. So Mondre's definitely in for me. And then I probably would go with Pacheco against the
Packers.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm at. Again, Pacheco, good week last week, can score the touchdowns, and you can run on Green Bay. So
that Jets game's going to stink, dude.
Yeah. Andrea needs 3: Chase, Olave, St. Brown, Devonta Smith. Well, we're definitely locking in the bottom 2. St. Brown and Devonta Smith are definitely in there for me.
Have to be.
And then when you play the wait and see game, if Olave is out,
this one's actually easier than you would think, because you definitely start St. Brown and Smith, and then if Olave's playing, you play him, and if he's not playing, then you just start Chase. So yeah.
Yep. 100% agree with you. Ricky's saying Dallas has a good secondary, but who's going to run the ball for Seattle? Well, it's going to have to be Charbonnet. That's all they got.
And Charbonnet played like virtually every snap. I thought maybe they'll mix in DJ Dallas. No, Charb's
they
played
did not throw the ball to him as much as I had hoped they would, but hopefully that will change this week. Trevor or Herbert? I guess this one falls on me. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence this week. Actually, no. Is he not playing? Jacksonville? No, Jacksonville's playing. Who's Jacksonville playing? Why am I blanking now?
Well, the Jags are playing. They're playing the Bengals. It's a good spot for.
Yeah.
It's Monday. It's Monday night.
I was looking at the main slate, which is why I'm like, where's this? Where's the Jacksonville game? No. We're going Trevor.
Got DFS for brands, dude.
Was something going on with ETN?
Yes.
Like last week or currently?
Last week, yes. He showed up on the injury report. So there's a couple guys 3 players that we were missed, like on Monday when I'm breaking down, all the snaps and stuff on our show. We're like looking at, and we're like, what the heck happened with Dalton Schultz? What happened with Jonathan? What happened with Jonathan Taylor? What happened with ETN? And then they just showed up on the injury report on Wednesday. Yeah. Right? It turns out that they were all nicked up. So ETN, if he's healthy, is going to be just fine. And honestly, a lot of times when I see stuff like that, and the injury news comes out, it's a sigh of relief, because it's even scarier if they just randomly don't play. Right, exactly.
The team has to delete a tweet because their quarterback walks in with an arm brace and turns out he had torn wrist.
Funny how that happens. Yeah. Dude.
Nobody knows. Oops, deleted. Listen, the other thing that happened at ETN last week was the fact they got stuffed from the 1-yard line 5 times. So also unfortunate scenario there.
Quite.
Njoku or Taysom Hill?
I'm starting Njoku, and I don't even care who the quarterback is. Flacco, PJ Walker, DTR. They're actually all better than Deshaun Watson, who just didn't like throwing to Njoku. Only
If
5.1.
Olave gets ruled out this week, does Taysom Hill line up as the wide receiver 1 this week, or what's happening?
He doesn't play. If anything, Juwan Johnson benefits.
Right.
I'm not even kidding when I say that Chris Olave playing is a good thing for Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is basically a kicker, right? He relies on everyone else to get him in position to do what he does. That's the thing with kickers. Like, as soon as the Browns lost Sean Watson, now all of a sudden we can't use Hopkins anymore, right? Because they're not scoring. Same thing with Taysom Hill. He needs them to get him in position to score. Last week he caught a random wheel route, which he never runs. His ADOT is in the 3 games prior is lower than 3, right? Like, this guy, he needs other people to put him in position. So I would make the argument that with Olave out, Juwan Johnson wheels up, converted wide receiver. Right. With Olave playing, it's actually good for Taysom Hill. Helps him get down to the end zone so he can do his stupid thing.
Sean wants to know, need a defense, Bucks, Rams, or Chargers? I like Tampa Bay this week. Tampa Bay against Carolina, whole new coach staff there. The owner goes out there and just throws everybody under the bus, including which said we wanted to take Stroud at 2, which is weird when you took Bryce Young at 1. I don't know.
Very weird.
Yeah, Tepper's in a land of his own here. 3 coaches in 4 years. I think it's an ownership problem.
Tepper and Irsay are losing their marbles, bro.
Agreed. What's up, Dan? Wants to know 1 point PPR, Rashee Rice, Puka Nacua, or Cooper Kupp this week?
I think you got to start Cooper Kupp, man.
I see who's playing Dan this week. Not me. I'm playing Drew. So don't have to worry about that. 1-11, Drew is. I don't even know if he's paying attention to this league anymore.
He's won that league before too. Which is the funniest part.
Well, he's still got don't tell him, but he's still got Lamar in his lineup. So
I clinched the playoffs in that league. I'm
8-4. What, do we both clinch playoffs?
Yeah, I'm 8-4 as well. That's the thing. I'm 8-4, but I'm in 5th place. Like, this league is ruthless, man.
No, it's terrible. I do have a little star next to my name, so I guess I'm in the playoffs as well. Cheers. It took us a while to go from the bottom, but now we're here, Coop.
It's so funny though, because it's like we're the fantasy analysts, but we always get crushed in this.
Literally in last place in that league like 3 times.
Very sharp players.
Noah Brown, Noah Brown a sleeper this week. What do you think?
The problem with Noah Brown is that we've never seen this team all year have everyone healthy at the same time. So that's why it's been so conducive to fantasy success, is that like Robert Woods missed time, Tank Dell missed time, Nico Collins missed time, Noah Brown missed time. So you always have just a couple guys. With everyone healthy, we don't know what it's going to look like, but I picture Nico Collins playing split end. He's a different player than everybody else. And Tank Dell is now a full-time flanker on this team. So I imagine Noah Brown and Robert Woods are going to be splitting snaps. So I really don't like the idea of throwing Noah Brown in there.
Sure. Sean wants to know thoughts on Ertz. Where's he going?
I wrote an article on this.
Yep.
Go to fantasyalarm.com. Doing my duties as a lead analyst. I did a article and also a video. So that stuff's all up. You can check that out. But I think the 3 spots that make the most sense are back to Philly, going to the Ravens with Mark Andrews out, or the dark horse going over to the Cowboys, who reportedly had an interest in trying to trade for him before the deadline, couldn't get anything done. But this is a team that was willing to give up picks to get this player. Now they can potentially get him without giving anything. How many
tight ends can they bring to Dallas?
Well, the thing is, with Peyton Hendershot, early in the year they used Peyton Hendershot in the slot and Jake Ferguson in line. There's a distinct possibility that that's what they want to do, that they look at Peyton Hendershot and said, hey, we like this role. Why don't we have Zach Ertz do it? So wouldn't rule it out, but obviously Philly's the number 1 destination.
Nacua or James Conner this week for Swizz?
Nacua or James Conner? What do you think on that one, John?
I'm going to go James Conner.
Yeah, he's very reliable.
Yeah, got a matchup going back to Pittsburgh. A little revenge game if you're into it too. Need a bye week replacement for likely Everett, Okonkwo, Conklin, Kraft, Henry.
I'm going with either Chig. I just tweeted my rankings. I'm probably, to be honest, I really don't want to go with Everett. I would go with Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft played virtually every snap, so I'm going to go with him. That's why I have it ranked.
Russ wants to know, need to make room on the roster. Who do I drop for choosing 2? Goddard, Latavius, Dottle, Elliott, Mitchell, Roshan.
You can drop. I'm not dropping Latavius Murray. He actually plays. If anyone, I'm going to drop Roshan. Now, Russ, do you play on Yahoo or Sleeper? Because if you play on Yahoo or Sleeper, you can actually potentially, depending on the settings are set up, and you can check the settings in your system, go into settings and see if you can drop guys off your bench after they've played. If you can, then just wait and drop Rico Dowdle after tonight's game. Otherwise, I'd probably drop Elijah Mitchell. Roshan led the team in snaps. If you have to drop two, I'm dropping Zeke and Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. Zeke and Elijah Mitchell, it is there. 20 plus carries from Ron Stevenson doesn't leave much for the rest. No. Not much love for Taysom, not really. And Russ says Dallas D or the Rams D this week. I'm going to go Dallas.
Yeah, you just got to think about Taysom this way. People always say, "Oh, well, he's got all this other stuff that gives him a good floor." He doesn't really, right? Last week they played 72 snaps. They lost Rashid Shaheed very early. They lost Chris Olave, right? So out of 72 snaps, he played 9 at quarterback, right? That's where all his fantasy points usually come from. And then he only played 16 at other positions. So he only played 25 of 72 snaps. This guy doesn't play half the game. We're literally just banking on weird gadget plays. That's why I don't trust this guy.
Right. Agreed. No doubt about it. Jonathan saying to eat some wild sockeye salmon. Cooper, are you a fish eater?
So I do like fish, but I'm such a New England fish eater. Okay. So I like fried clams, fried stuff.
I like seafood,
fish and chips. I like clam chowder. I like shrimp, different fried shrimp cocktails, stuff like that. I don't really like fishy fish. If you know,
your wife used to make a lot of baked haddock.
So I'll do baked haddock, dude. Baked haddock is good, but once you get into the fishy stuff, anything that comes out of cedar plank, right? Swordfish, I don't like. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a seafood eater. I have the famed story of when I was growing up. My mother used to feed me fish sticks and told me they were chicken fingers. Then one day I found out that they were fish, and I feel lied to.
Why would she do that, dude? Why would she do that?
Because they were cheaper, probably.
But why would she lie to you? Just tell you.
And she knew I wouldn't eat the fish. She said fish, so she told me they were chicken fingers. And then I was old enough to read the box one day, and I was like, "This says fish on it." And that was 30 years ago, and I'm scarred for life. So don't eat fish now.
So there you go, kids. Stay in school. That's
core memory being lied to my mom about fish sticks.
That's the moral of the story. Stay in school so you can learn to read and find out if your mom is tricking you.
Lying to you about what food you're eating. Yeah. Right. Bijan, Pollard, Monty, or Mostert got to start 3.
I'm starting Pollard for sure tonight. So the Cowboys O-line has been banged up. Terrence Steele is the only one that's played every single game so far this year. And now they've had everyone healthy for the last 3 games. They haven't let up a single sack in 3 games. Tony Pollard scored rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games. I like Pollard in fantasy lineups. I like his anytime TD lines. I like him in showdown slates. Pollard is a guy we're definitely starting. After that, I'm probably going to start Mostert against Washington because he's been good.
Yeah.
And I like Bijan. I'm probably going to not go Monty here because
Monty against the Saints, we're sitting.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Can't see Ertz going to Dallas. Philly fans would never forgive him.
That's very true. I don't know if he wants to do that.
I mean, does he care about Philly fans forgiving him, or does he care about what his wallet looks like?
I think they do care. I actually think they do care.
They certainly could use him. When does Goddard come back, Coop?
He wants to come back this week, but it's not going to happen. Okay. The doctor said 4 games, so he'll come back against the Cowboys.
Okay. I guess the money's right. Exactly.
It's money.
Playing on Yahoo. We got Dude Love in the chat. Hopefully comes back as Mankind, Mick Foley, and it gives us the faces of Mick Foley there. Yeah. Ferguson tonight.
I wanted to say one more thing real quick on Ertz is that I think what Ertz cares most about, even more, he cares about his legacy. And I think he wants to, like any guy at this stage of his career, he wants to be a Hall of Famer. And there's 2 ways to do that. You can win a Super Bowl and add that to your resume, or you can go out and you can be and produce, right? That's why he doesn't want to be a backup for Trey McBride. So the best places to do that are Philly, Dallas, or obviously if he wants to be the tight end 1, it would be Baltimore. So if I'm him, I'm definitely picking based on that. He's got plenty of money.
Agreed. That's what we got for questions. Actually, sorry, we didn't answer that.
We didn't do Lowe's,
Ferguson tonight, or wait on McBride, Juwan, and Auden.
Go with Ferguson tonight. I would wait. Since you have those options, Juwan and Auden available, I'd wait on McBride.
Okay.
because I like McBride has been so good, man. He's been a focal point of that offense, playing virtually every snap every week. So
cool. Coop, do you want to build a lineup? Well,
yeah,
we
let's
wait for some more questions to roll in here.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep answering questions. So get them in the chat. We'll hit them as we go. We'll pause whatever we're doing here. But hey, if we got a second, throw in a little lineup, see if we can win some dough. Let's get to it. If you guys are not Fantasy Alarm members yet, you got to get set up with that, because we do every week for the main slate. We do articles, not just your average articles that the DFS articles out there are like one dude makes a lineup or two, and then he says, oh, here's the lineups I'm building. Here are the guys I like. What we do is we have different coaches for every position that are dedicated to that position. I do the tight ends. I do a full write-up. Each tier, top tier, I say, here are the top options. If you're paying up, go for these guys. I do mid-tier. I do value tier. Sometimes I do a dart throw. I do fades. That's just at tight end, so that whatever lineup you're building, you can go through and we've got options at every tier. And we do that for every position. John does quarterbacks. Colby does wide receivers. Verlian does the running backs. Malin does the defense. So you're going to get distinct attention, right? And that way, if you're good at picking running backs and stuff, you get your guys in there, and then you say, okay, you know what? I need help at this position. Let me check out and see what Coop says, or so-and-so says. So get set up with that now. FantasyAlarm.com.
Yep. We have and we also have the Showdown playbook already out and written up by Dan Malin, so you can check that out for tonight's matchup as well. Coop, where are you starting your Showdown lineups tonight?
I have no problem doing Showdown lineups. Where I struggle is captain. I kind of want to do Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Personally, like
sure.
the reason. So when you look at DVOA, the Saints aren't like the Seahawks aren't like. They're not the bottom of the barrel, but they've let up 14 rushing touchdowns. So, and I think Pollard scored twice in the last 2 weeks. I think he gets in the end zone here. Yeah. So we go Pollard.
I'm good going there. I think we plug in the Dallas defense.
Yeah. I mean, we're basically starting
and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I like that idea.
Because now you got some cash to play with.
Right. He's a good value play.
Work your way around the player pool there.
Yeah. Do we get Princeton Fant in the lineup?
I was gonna say probably not.
So that one is funny. I did put in a.
I thought you were about to go to Keontae Turpin given your.
I do like Keontae Turpin. I know. Dude. That Princeton Fant was a joke, but there's an interesting narrative with him. He went to Tennessee. His last year in school, he caught 5 touchdown passes. He threw a touchdown pass to Jalen Hyatt. But the cool thing was they would put him at running back sometimes. He's like 6'2". He's not huge, but he runs like a 4.6. He scored 5 rushing touchdowns for Tennessee. And him being activated tonight, I think they're kind of doing him a solid, John, because his cousin is on the other team.
I gotcha. Do you think they get him out? Do you think they put him out there?
I think maybe he gets if they go up big like they're supposed to win by 10, then I think he plays some. So I don't know. I'm not going to use him.
I'm not going there for $200, but I respect the hustle.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it now. But you know who his cousin is, right?
Noah Fant.
That's right. So I don't know. Princeton Fant plus 2,500 anytime touchdown. That's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. Okay.
I don't know. You're like $10, dude. $10 $250.
You could go Jake Bobo here, maybe as a dart throw. You could just go 2 backup wide receivers. Let's see. Lockett obviously is reasonable. Charbonnet is reasonable.
If we put Bobo in, then we could do we start CeeDee Lamb? Like, is he a must start?
I think so. You still have plenty of money to play around with there. What's the kicker situation?
If we put Dak and
Shoemaker?
Lamb in.
Shoemaker there?
Yeah, he's 1,800, but we could also do Bobo.
Or Bobo, yeah. Is Bobo still getting targets? I assume he is.
No. Actually, no. Jake Bobo hardly plays. He played 12 snaps last week. We're not going to start Bobo.
What about you're so close to Turpin. He's right there.
I have a Turp. Where is he? Oh. It would be Schoonmaker, man. I would be Schoonmaker.
All right. Maybe you catch a touchdown like you did last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You could flip it. You could do the Cowboys defense in your captain, then you can play whoever you wanted in your util spots.
Should we make a weird one that's like the thing that I hate about the Cowboys defense is I can't like not about the Cowboys defense, but the thing I hate about doing defense as the showdown slate spot as the captain is that I feel like I need to build around it,
Well, if they get a pick six, like you're fine.
and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's answer some questions and then we'll do another one.
We back to the questions, guys. If you haven't already downloaded the BetterCast app, by the way, you should do that as well. There, free on the screen.
Set up Bender. If those joining late, we talked about it earlier.
Hey, it's the BenderCast tonight. For those of you who are not familiar with the BenderCast, he and Jim Bowden, I think, are going to be on there now, answering the pregame questions, and then at halftime, Scott Engel and Howard Bender breaking down the action. So, download the free BetterCast app, answer your pregame questions, opportunity to win some tickets. You can redeem for some cool prizes like autographed memorabilia, mini helmets, and jerseys. All right there on the BetterCast app. Free to download, free to play. Sign up today.
Get in there, dude. Yeah, free. And I'm telling you, you can. There's some cool stuff in there. My sister, from a contest they did earlier this year, she's a Dolphins fan, has an autographed Ricky Williams jersey hanging in the bar now because of a contest my brother-in-law won through Better Sports. So there are autographed helmets, autographed jerseys, lots of cool stuff on there, man.
Ann saying hi and good luck this weekend. Good luck to you, Ann. I'm sure we'll talk this weekend for sure. Sean wants to know, what are the odds of Mark Andrews returning this year?
I think there's a chance that he's going to return, but not in the capacity that we care about for fantasy football. There's a chance that he comes back during the playoffs.
Right.
They say that that he's going to have the surgery and he could potentially come back. But let's think about it realistically from fantasy football perspective. Let's say he does come back for fantasy championship week. Like, he hasn't played, hasn't practiced. And then all of a sudden they say, okay, we're just going to activate this guy and try and see what he can do for a big matchup, but it's against the 49ers. Are you going to start Mark Andrews coming off of ankle surgery for his first game back against the 49ers? I don't think so. I think you got to make other plans, man.
Agreed. Yeah, I would let him go as well. Bender Cash question. Look at Ann in there being the better cast.
Ooh, I like that.
Bender Cash question. Pollard over 67.5 yards. She's looking for some answers, Coop. You're obviously going over. You're a big fan of Tony Pollard here tonight. I'll run the over with you as well. Keyboard Smash username here. Half PBR, Brandon Cooks, or Jaden Reed.
I'm going to Jaden Reed here. That's either a Keyboard Smash name or it's somebody from Iceland, right? So I'm going to go. Would you say Jaden Reed?
Yeah, Jaden Reed.
I don't know. I kind of like Brandon Cooks tonight. Jaden Reed, is he fully healthy? That's my question on Jaden Reed.
Pretty good on Thanksgiving.
I thought he looks good every week. I thought I saw he showed up on the injury report. He did not practice with a chest injury 2 days in a row.
Right.
I might just start Brandon. He didn't practice today, which is scary. So I think I'm going to start Brandon Cooks.
All right. Oh, yeah, we can't trust the injuries here. So let's go Brandon Cooks since Reed plays on a Monday. You'll get that info at all. Better cast. Question number 2, over under Tyler Lockett receiving yards.
I like over. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a fun game.
Agreed.
Come on, Gino, dude. Wake up.
Should be a fun one, hopefully.
It's time for Gino to write back.
Lockett versus Dallas or Hollywood Brown versus Pitt?
Hollywood Brown is another one, man, where
he's banged up right now too, right?
I'm starting Lockett because he didn't practice again. I don't care about guys that don't practice on Wednesday. Sometimes they'll tell us it's a veteran day off or whatever, but if a guy doesn't practice on Wednesday, I'm like, whatever. If they don't practice on Thursday, now I'm like, okay, we have to pay attention. If they don't practice on Friday, then I am definitely not playing them unless like something drastically changes. But like, if you have to pick a guy tonight, just go with Lockett now.
Great. Dan looking for some DFS advice. Would you play Ayuk or Debo at their price points? I went over this with Howard earlier today doing the NFL DFS show, which you guys can go watch on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel right now. He liked Ayuk a bit more than Debo this week in that matchup. Obviously, Debo's looking pretty good, and he's cheaper. So, Dan, again, Ayuk was where Bender went. If you can fit Ayuk in your lineup, fine, but I don't think we have an issue going with either play here in that spot against Philadelphia this week.
So Ayuk is 7,200 and Debo is what?
62. Okay.
Yeah, it's close enough that I would pay up for Ayuk.
Yeah. Again, it's all about your roster construction here this week. We didn't really find ourselves spending up too much. You do have a lot of value. Obviously, the running back, the chalk play this week by a lot is Zach Moss. He's only $4,600 on DraftKings. So, see a lot of people playing him, and then they're spending up for like Tyreek Hill, mid-tier plays at quarterback and at tight end this week. And then Njoku, your highest roster tight end for the week. So
I don't like paying up at tight end because you got Kittle The Eagles are not. A lot of people can be starting Kittle. The Eagles are not as bad of a matchup for tight ends as they once were because they traded for Kevin Byard and Laporta. Like the Saints, again, a team that they have Tamaro Davis, they have the Honey Badger, and they're missing the guys on the outside. So, I don't really love that. Then the next best options are the most expensive ones are Taysom Hill, who I'm not playing, Dalton Schultz, who's hurt, Trey McBride, who's banged up, and Dallas Goedert, who's probably not going to play. At that point, you're down to Freiermuth and Joku. I like both those guys better than at their price point, better than any of those other guys.
Agreed.
For some deeper guys, I don't mind Kate Otten, and I got some really sneak. I was
gonna say, who's the Josh Weil or whoever this
week's Josh Wiley. This week's Stone Smart, Josh Wiley. Josh Wiley did not pan out. Stone Smart did. This week's super deep, crazy dart throw is Steven Sullivan from the Carolina Panthers, where Hayden Hurst has not cleared concussion protocol.
Right.
Tommy Tremble has a hip injury. Ian Thomas is a blocking tight end. And they just fired the coaching staff, and they're shaking things up. There could be a big catalyst for change. Steven Sullivan, he had a game where he had 5 targets, and then he got hurt, right? So we're talking bare minimum price, especially if Hurst and Tremble are out. I mean, if Hurst and Tremble are out, I'm definitely putting them in lineups. but just in general, I mean, you just don't find bare minimum priced guys.
Listen, Freiermuth was bare minimum, broke the slate the other day.
Broke it, right? Yeah, with 2 touch. I mean, with 120 yards, 9 receptions. Yeah, well, I put him in he was in the DFS write up because I was like, look, I don't care if he's playing the bet. I don't care what the
Bengals last week. You tore him apart. Yeah. Ate him apart. Nathan here wants to know Charbonnet or B-Rob.
Brian Robinson.
Yeah, right? Brian Robinson is Miami this week. I'm fine with that. He catches the football. Miami actually is a team that allows a decent amount of receptions to the running back position. So.
There's a couple of those teams, like the Jaguars are a perfect example. The Jaguars are actually the number 1 team in DVOA against the run, but they're letting up the most receptions.
What Devin Singletary did last week. Nothing on the ground, caught 5 passes.
Right. Alvin Kamara caught 14. Christian McCaffrey did well. It's like they're letting up the most receptions of any team to the running back. So great. You can stop the run, but maybe you got to have somebody at the second level who's ready to stop these guys from catching balls too.
Agreed. Need 2 in a PPR. Algier, Cooks, Dubs, and Samuel for Ann here. PPR, we can go back to Samuel in the spot. Would you go Cooks, Algier, or Dubs in the other one spot?
I'm going to go Brandon Cooks. I like Cooks tonight. I'm not going to start Algier.
I'm down with going with that. Russ wants to know 1 point PPR, Downs or Cooks?
This is where I'm going to go Downs. He got 12 targets last week.
Yep, great spot for them against the Tennessee defense this week.
Yeah.
Chardy wants to know Chuba, Charbonnet, or Dylan. I think we're going Charbs here, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to start A.J. Dillon. The problem with A.J. Dillon, that even with Aaron Jones out, Patrick Taylor ran like double the routes of A.J. Dillon. They just refuse to let A.J. Dillon be the full-time running back.
Agreed. And telling everybody to hit the like button for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribe to the channel. We go live pretty much all day, every day. And as it kind of goes to Ann's question, when do we have time to set our lineups? Scoop, when do you set your lineups?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just set everybody else's lineups.
My favorite feature at Yahoo is like the auto set lineup button. Just like
my favorite is Sunday morning where we get on before the Sirius XM show and Howard is sitting there talking about his lineups out loud in the mics where we're supposed to be getting ready for the show. And I'm just like, Bender, will you just not, please? Like that's when he sets his at 9:30 when we're supposed to be prepping for a show.
I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at as well. You can catch Coop and myself early this week. He's going to be filling in. Right. Him and Britt are switching spots. So me and Coop will be with you guys at 9 a.m., 10 to 10. And then Coop will be, or Britt will be with me from 11 to 12, getting you guys ready. So get an early dose of Coop and John there for you guys on Sunday mornings. We'll set our lineups then probably with whatever news we got. Rushman saying greetings. Walker already ruled out, so we'll see what happens with the running back situation then. And saying fire
with the switch. I actually my buddy asked me if I could go. He was like, I got tickets to the game. Let's go to the Chargers game, and I was like, I can't. I got to work right up until noon. But now that we switched, I shot him the text. I was like, still got that ticket? Haven't heard back. So I don't.
It's supposed to be very cold and rainy too. I don't know if you know.
I don't care, dude. It's football.
I looked on StubHub yesterday actually just to see how far from grace the Patriots have gone. You can go see the Patriots for $46 this week.
Hell yeah, go.
That used to be a $460 ticket to sit in the bleachers Now it's not. You can just go watch them lose for free.
If you
Well, I want to get your thoughts on Hunter Henry this week with Bailey Zappi starting at quarterback. Is there any boost at all to the Patriots passing offense for you?
I think there is, man, because the thing with Zappi is that he's a lot less conservative. You've seen it, right, John? He's willing to let it fly, right? Which it's been ugly at times, but I don't care about that for fantasy football. If you throw a pick six, you get the ball right back. Interceptions are only -2, and I'm not starting Zappi anyway. I want a guy that's going to give them a chance at moving the ball and making big plays. So Hunter Henry, great matchup for him. It's obviously a revenge game as well. The only thing is, there were certain games where he plays a ton of snaps. Last week he didn't with everybody healthy. So I don't know. He's still middle of the pack, but anytime touchdown type of bet.
Yeah, I'm interested here with how bad the Chargers defense has been. If Zappi gets interested, I wonder if Mac Jones will even be active for this week because it's been Zappi and Malik Cunningham taking the practice snaps this week. So
they said that the report I saw was that Mac Jones was standing behind them with like a clipboard, he wasn't even rotating.
Wasn't even rotating in. So you could very well see Zappi in as a starter and Malik Cunningham as the backup. And then that makes me wonder, like, is there Malik Cunningham packages this week where Zappi comes off and Cunningham goes in? That'll be something to pay attention to there. Tingley wants to know DK over Cup, Puka, or Nico. How would you handle the wide receiver spot here?
I think I like all those guys over DK.
You like all those guys over DK Metcalf?
All of them, I think, honestly.
DK and Cup against the Cleveland Browns this week.
Yeah, so start Nico against the Broncos. Start Nico against the Broncos, but I'm just not going to start DK. DK, maybe I like him in a showdown slate, but like, I don't know, man. Deron Bland and all these Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, Gilmore's a big guy, yeah.
It's just not a good spot for him.
Adam wants to know DK, Rice, or Cooks. I'm going Rice here.
I like Rice. I'm done saying, well, he doesn't play the whole game with Rice because it doesn't matter. When he gets in there, he gets the ball.
I try to tell you and Bender that sometimes too. It's like I get the snap share, I get all the stuff, but like when he gets on the field, they only have eyes for him. What does it matter?
It does matter.
Percentage of targets on routes run is a real stat, Coop. So
I know it's very high, and I like those players. When I love grabbing those players, and then when they finally are playing every snap, then I'm like, nice, we did it. But like this guy, last week he should have played every snap. Why did he play 40 of 60? Which the thing is, early on when we were having this debate, John, he was playing like 15 snaps. He would play 15 snaps, he'd get 5 targets. But now he's playing 40 snaps, he got 10 targets. Now we can trust this guy. But I mean. This is the first time he's actually had like a big game.
Yeah, Ricky giving us the PFF stats here. Yeah, Bland at a 92 is that's like the best safety in football. Corner football. Right?
I mean, he scores a touchdown every single week. So what are you gonna do, John? I was looking at the so I'm like, all right, let me sprinkle some money on Princeton Fant anytime touchdown. Deron Bland has better odds of scoring a touchdown this week with the sports book than Princeton Fant.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the defensive player has better odds of scoring a touchdown.
I mean, that's pretty wild.
He's at plus 2,200. Like it's not even worth betting on Deron Bland to score a touchdown.
No, I would agree with you. Brian wants to know McBride or Muth.
McBride, and obviously if McBride is
out, you play
out, then you start Friday.
Yep, same game, so you don't have to really wait. You'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give us some of your other favorite bets here today, Cube. You and I, of course, give out our favorite sleeper picks on the Quick Out Fantasy Football Show. Do they still have the Dak Prescott half-yard promo live? Do you know?
I don't know. I
got to pull up the old sleeper app and check that one out or not. They did have a half-yard promo. If you guys want to scan that QR code with your mobile devices, you may already use Sleeper app for your fantasy football leagues. But do you know they got Sleeper HQ Pick'em now available? You can scan that QR code from your mobile device or go to fantasy.com/sleeper on your mobile device. Use promo code VAULT3 when you sign up. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 there with the Sleeper HQ Pick game. They give you a whole bunch of player projections that you can choose more or less on. And there is, in a very blurry version of it, showing you the half-yard discount.
It is there. It is still there.
Dak Prescott here tonight. So you go over there, you plug in the over on the Dak Prescott. I think they're leaving it at a $10 wager. But you can do that, and you take a couple of other plays. I like the more than half an interception from Geno Smith. That was at 1.6x, which means basically almost a guarantee that Geno throws an interception here this week. Coop, you had what was your pick? You remember?
Tony Pollard anytime at 1.7.
Tony Pollard anytime touchdown over there.
So over there, like you can pick anything you want. It's crazy. Like they'll give you so many different ways to go at this. So you can do like anytime. You can do rushing TD. You can do anytime TD. You can pick the fantasy points. Like they'll give you a projection. So like Tony Pollard is set at 16.7 fantasy points. You can pick more or less, and it'll even tell you what the crowd is doing. So it'll straight up tell you, like, who's picking more, who's picking less. So, it is a really cool setup. I'm not gonna lie. It shows you all the past ones. So I like Tony Pollard for that. I also like just doing, if you do it with the books and stuff, to go with Tony Pollard touchdown there. I'm telling you right now, this line wasn't healthy. When they lost to the Cardinals, this Cowboys team, they didn't have Tyron Smith. They didn't have Zach Martin. They didn't have Tyler Biotish, right? It's like we look back and say, how did this team lose to the Cardinals? Well, they didn't have their offensive line.
Right.
The past 3 weeks, everyone's been healthy. They haven't let up a single sack. Tony Pollard's back on track, 5.1 yards per carry, 6.7 yards per carry, touchdowns both the last 2 games. I'm telling you right now, it's Tony Pollard week.
I like it. Final couple questions here. Let's see. Where did we get? Start DK. We did this one already.
We did those. Yeah, I think we're good, man. If anyone has last questions, we're hanging.
All right,
out.
the last thing I'll throw up here then, Coop, as we'll hide the chat. I gotta let everybody just remember. It's the BenderCast. It's live right now. Scan the QR code, everybody. Download the free BenderCast app. Go hang out with Howard Bender in the app right now. Watching this game tonight, Seattle versus the Dallas Cowboys. At halftime, he'll be joined by Jim Bowden, Scott Engel on tonight's show. Jim's on there now, I think, with him answering those pregame questions. Scott Engel will join him at halftime, talk about what's going on in the game. You download that QR code, download the app. You get an opportunity to win tickets for cool prizes like autographed jerseys, helmets, and much, much more. So again, scan that QR code, download the BetterCast app today, and go have some fun tonight watching some Thursday Night Football with Mr. RotoBuzz Guy himself. For Coop and I, we'll be back Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Then Coop and Bender, 10 to 11. Myself and Britt Flynn, 11 to 12, getting you guys ready for Week 13 action. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you later.